Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Susray. I will be commentating the Max Percent GT Code Run. This is part of the multi-category extension tournament. One of the 5 categories, and probably the longest of the 5 as well. It's one among the more volatile categories as well. Excited to see what's going to happen. And looks like the race has just started. So I think we'll be seeing feedback on the runner screens in no time. As we wait for the runners to begin, let me quickly introduce this category. So Max Percent GT code, also known as 135%. The aim here is to get the maximum amount of item percentage shown at the end screen without using any out of bounds. This is the most simply put way. And to do that, well, normally 100% you grab all 100 items in the game. That constitutes 100. That constitutes hundo. You can actually get a bit more than that by utilizing the GT code, which is a debug code left in the game. It actually, when you execute the GT code, it automatically gives Samus some number of items, a fixed set of items, and those are just automatically generated. So after getting these item sets, you can go ahead and grab all the remaining items in the game, and these will actually total 135% by the end of the game. Now the catch is that the GT code, as I said, it sets Samus's item set to a particular combination. To be precise, it's 100 missiles, 20 supers, 20 power bombs. I think it was 3 or 4 reserves. I think it's 4 reserves, and all the major upgrades except for screw attack. So what that means is you want to get to the so first of all, GT code is you can only execute it in one room in the lower Norfair, which is a late game area. So you want to get there with minimum amount of items collected, so that when you execute the GT code, you get the maximum boost, so to speak, the item percentage. And afterwards, you go ahead and collect all the remaining items in the game. Now, there's a very interesting catch that makes this category unique. The way Super Metroid counts how many calculates your item percentage at the end. Was also nice there from both runners, 43, 44. Pretty close start. So the way the game calculates your item percentage is that for every expansion item, such as reserve tanks, energy tanks. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention. Yeah, GT code gives you 7 energy tanks as well. So the game counts how many expansion items you have. These include reserves, E-tanks, missiles, super missiles, and power bombs. And for each item you have, it gives you 1%. For all the major upgrades, that is stuff you equip using from the pause menu, as well as X-ray and grapple beam. For these, the game just checks whether you have it. So if you have it, it gives you 1%. You can't have more than 1 because it doesn't. I mean, if you have X-ray, regardless of how many X-rays you have, you always just have it. The game gives you 1%, 1% for each major upgrade you have. What that means is that the runners can actually pick up as many major upgrades as they want, because it actually doesn't contribute any extra percentage to once the GT code is executed. So the runners. So the purpose of this, the objective of the runners now would be to collect the necessary major upgrades that will enable them to travel to this particular room in Lower Norfair, where they have the minimum number of expansion upgrades. So here you see both runners grabbing the first missile pack. This is an expansion item that you kind of have to get. If you want to bypass this item, you have to do some out of bounds tricks. Actually, I don't even know if out of bounds tricks can can allow you to bypass this missile pack. But now they won't be allowed to pick up another missile expansion until they execute the GT code, because that reduces the number of extra expansion packs they can pick up after the GT code is executed. So runners, the objective now would be for the runners to collect the necessary major upgrades that will enable them to get to the particular room in Lower Norfair with the minimum number of expansion items. And after they get to the room, execute the GT code, it basically becomes a very flashy, a hundo-like category where most attention will be devoted to item collection and unique strategies. So that was a quick summary of the category. Now, since the runners are just doing this routine early game portion, except prankard having a little bit of an issue with the climb. The climb is always a difficult room to optimize. Well, not just to optimize. It's a difficult room to get through. Period. Most runs die here for runners in the early days. Giving a little bit of a lead, but all of this is all of this becomes instant. Okay, well, actually missing that missile shot, well, a little bit costly because these flying enemies they actually don't have they actually aren't guaranteed to drop missiles, unlike most other enemies when it comes to that full health. But we see a pretty sizable lead early on at this stage, but this is all insignificant because this category is actually really volatile. Because for the longest time you won't. Okay, actually I neglected to mention the most important thing. So the room Bress is coming up next contains an energy tank, which is picked up in most categories, maybe except any person glitched. Now it's very important for Bress to he skipped the energy tank, no problem. That energy tank doesn't really give you doesn't really provide Samus any ability to progress through the game, right? It's just a safety item, even during casual playthroughs. So since it's not really a progression item, Bress won't be picking it up. What that means is that both runners will only have a maximum of 99 health for the early part of this game, for the early part of this run, which is actually so Super Metroid. It's when you have low health, you can play the game pretty conservatively, but it's pretty easy to die in many spots of the game, including such as bosses and well, there's a trick called Lava Dive this is coming up in probably like 20-ish minutes of the run. It's actually pretty difficult with no E-tanks at all. It's actually not possible to get through that room with no E-tanks and no major upgrades. Runners will be... I presume both runners will be picking up Gravity Suit, which is a major upgrade. That's also a progression item. It allows them to get into Lower Norfair with 0 extra E-tanks. That's a route we are most likely going to be seeing, which is both runners making their way up to Wreck Ship and picking up Gravity Suit, then heading down to Lower Norfair to execute the GT code. Okay, so Bressingham picking up Charge Beam. So Charge Beam isn't really a progression item either. It doesn't let Samus get any farther in the game, or minus some boss fights. So Bress is picking this up solely. So remember, major upgrades can be picked up as many times as you want, and you can pick up plethora of major upgrades such as X-Ray, or if you wish, you can even pick up Spring Ball before heading down to Lower Norfair. It doesn't invalidate their runs. Bress is picking up Charge Beam as a safety item, so to speak. It makes some parts of the game easier. Importantly, the Phantom fight coming up will be a good bit easier. And plus, since they won't be picking up any extra ammo expansions, Charge Beam in some places could serve as a replacement for missiles. So it's always it's one of the first safety items you pick up in this category. There's opting to pick up Spacer as well. This is less orthodox, but it's still a very good, nice safety to have. Let me explain the routing a little bit here. This category has many routes that are viable, all of which are characterized by the specific combination of major upgrades you pick up. The fastest route actually picks up Varia suit and high jump boots so that Samus can actually, with these two items, it's possible to get into Lower Norfair with 0 extra tanks at all. Another major route is the gravity route, which both runners are doing. The gravity route, basically, for that route, you get into Lower Norfair by utilizing this trick called gravity jump, which is only possible if you have gravity suit. Now, to get the gravity suit, well, the gravity suit is located in wrecked ship. Now, to get the wrecked ship, there are some options you have. You can either pick up grapple. So the key thing is that before wrecked ship, there is this room called mode that you guys will be seeing, that we will be seeing in the next couple of minutes, maybe like 5 to 6-ish minutes. There's a missile pack that's conveniently placed in the middle of the room on a very important platform, and that missile pack is very hard to avoid. But as the rule says, okay, just check out this great quick kill. Actually, yeah, let's not check it out because Bress didn't get it. This will get prankard. So quick kill, if you miss it up, it's give or take at least 20 seconds down the drain. That's assuming if you can recover property, which Bress did. Yeah, so that was a pretty decent recovery. So that'll give prankard some time to catch up. So this early game is actually evening up the runners a little bit more. It's great to see. You might be wondering, okay, well, if they're gonna pick up gravity suit anyway, why are they bothering to pick up Varia suit? Well, the reason is that there's a room called the moat that prevents you from getting to wrecked ship, and that room has a very awkwardly placed missile pack that's super hard to avoid. There are some strategies to avoid it. The two easiest methods would be to either get grapple beam. Oh, prankard, he didn't shoot the. He is one missile short from getting a quick kill. That's unfortunate. So wasn't able to. Oh, Crate open up the mouth, but prankard was a little bit occupied with flying nails on the screen. It's unfortunate. It could have been an opportunity for him to catch up to make some grounds. You might wonder, why are they even bothering to pick up Varia suit? Well, so to get direct ship, you either want to have grapple beam so that you can skip you can traverse the moat room in the intended way, or you can grab speed booster, with which you can actually shine spark across moat and don't have to. When you guys see the room, it'll be very obvious why the missile pack is so hard to avoid. But the runners are going to pick up speed booster because that's the faster of the two options. But that's the faster of the speed booster and grapple beam options, but by a huge margin. And okay, so Bress is picking up, and of course, to get to speed booster, you have to survive the initial hell run, Bubble Mountain, and to do that, the runners pick up Varia suit. You saw Bressingham taking it's actually a pretty big detour, roughly 40 seconds. Bressingham just using the 40 seconds there to pick up high jump boost. Now, high jump boost is a progression item, but for the route they're doing, it doesn't have too much significance. It's mostly a safety item that makes a few rooms coming up easier. For example, in Amphitheater, or so I think is called, Resident have to do extra bomb jumps to get up to a platform. And here in Bubble Mountain, if you don't have highest wall jump, is very tricky, very tricky. With high jump boost, Bress nails it no problem. Very well done. In the meantime, prankard also grabbing high jump boost. So the runners are actually following very similar routes, except I entirely missed it, but seems like prankard doesn't actually have spacer being picked up. Oh, so, excuse me. Okay, so they're actually following identical routes so far, picking up more or less the maximum number of safeties available. Well, since both runners pick, well, actually, the biggest another safety that comes to mind is wave beam, which is located in the room below speed booster. So it's actually somewhat of a nearby pickup, but considering that both runners got spacer, you probably shouldn't be seeing the wave beam pickup. Okay, so prankard needs to be very careful. As I said, Super Metroid, if you play the game very carefully, this is not a game that's trying to kill you by any means. It's very much a Metroidvania, an exploration game. So if you play carefully, you probably shouldn't die. But since we're speedrunners, we kind of want to just hurry through all the rooms. And prankard had me on a near scare there, but no problem. He got to speed booster. And now bressingham making his way. Okay, does he pick up ice? That's also an option. Okay, no, yeah, ice isn't. Ice only helps with red tower, but runners of this caliber, Bress and prankard, I don't presume tower being much of an issue for them. So now Bress is DBing Norfair for the first time. He'll be coming back to Norfair later because you still want to get to lower Norfair to execute the GT code. So now Bress will be heading up to Rex ship, and in particular, the next room is the reason is probably the key reason Bress picked up high jump boots. Sorry, the room after next. Red tower here, Bress is making his way up red tower by wall jumping on the side and then doing this jump, and then wall jumping on that one tile. Get up here without high jump boost. It's actually also some very clean red tower movement. Oh, even with a down grab, that's cool. That's cool. Down grab strategy is probably very much more difficult. I don't even know if it's possible if you don't pick up spacer. It's a very difficult strategy. Impersonating and no problem. Okay, well, that might also be a reason why he picked up a high jump then. But to get up red tower, if you don't have high jump boots, you either have to do a series of difficult diagonal bomb jumps, which was actually discovered by Hotter Ruby 2 years ago. Very clever strategy. Or you have to do a pretty tricky short charge to shine spark up. Briss is taking this save right here. This is a common save, and or there's a required save as well. One of the whole reason this category is so volatile is because of the Phantom fight. You're fighting Phantom with extra E-tanks with Varia. Okay, well, sorry, with Varia it's actually kind of actually makes the fight a lot more trivial. But you're fighting Phantom with no extra E-tanks and no ammo at all. But both are still do have charge beam, so that's a very nice safety for the fight if they choose to do the super enrage method. So this is a key moment coming up for bressingham. He picked up speed. Okay, did a goop spark. That's very much all right. Prankard still needs a little bit of still a number of rooms behind. So that missile pack located on the little island. If you have watched any percent run of Super Metroid, you'll know that it's runners pick up that missile pack, then do a CWJ or a horizontal bomb jump. Both of these options are not possible, unfortunately, because you just really have to avoid picking up that missile pack. And that's the whole reason both runners did this huge detour to get Varia suit, to head down to Norfair to get the speed booster, and then even picked up high jump boost so that they can come back from Norfair in a swift manner. So they picked up all these combinations of major upgrades just so that they can spark over mode. Room is otherwise very difficult. There are ways to cross that room without the aid of any major upgrades, but it's with the aid of bomb only. But it is very tricky and probably not race friendly. prankard also taking the save right here. Let's see how the fight goes for Bressingham. Gets a fast open. Oh, he wasted a super missile. Actually, you might be seeing some golden shower, I think it's called. the spacer charge beam combo. Fantoon. Bress does have one power bomb in hand. Is he gonna go for it, or is he just gonna? Yeah, okay, she's choosing to Doppler. Yeah, looking like a 4-round. So Fantoon. If you've seen any person run, I keep repeating myself. You'll see runners 2-round in Fantoon with their by doing this Doppler strategies, which is the main mode of dealing damage to Fantoon, even in this category. Okay, prankard nailed the mode spark, no problem. Now it's very duck dependent and just we're gonna see the golden shower. Oh no, no. I think that may have been a mistake by Brest. He probably I saw he selected power bomb. Probably wanted to the golden shower, but somehow used the data PV instead. Was the extra lag. It's not too optimal. So in this category, Fantoon, you can 2-round Fantoon with very good, very strange luck and a lot of difficult maneuvers. It's not, but it's not really a thing. Just because they have only 5 missiles at maximum. So the standard strategy to 2-round Fantoon involves somehow getting 10 missiles in during. Okay, this is bad for Brest. But in rage, give or take 17 seconds. Last year, but thankfully he does have charge beam. So yeah, this is why charge beam is so helpful. It's probably the most helpful safety item to get, period, for this category. As a Fantoon fight, you can actually just use the Nintendo power strategy and shoot supers at Fantoon, and somehow just use your pseudo screw to just time out the Fantoon enrages. It was one missile short. That was unfortunate. It's not the best Fantoon fight, but really survival is the best thing you can ask for in this category, especially during a race. So prankard has to. Okay, so yeah, I see. So prankard also intentionally. Okay, please do the pseudo screw. Yes. Okay, this is very precarious now. Please don't get docked. Please don't get fooled by your moonwalk. Okay, prankard is doing it fine. Nice. Okay, he still needs to grab. Okay, anything will one-shot prankard now. That fast is not helpful. That fast really wasn't helpful. Yeah. As I said, volatile category. Let's just focus on Bress's Cat-Ext strategy for now. Very, very good. Got the perfect left side addict with speed keep, or with temporary blue suit if I have to be pedantic. Yeah, so that was a very unfortunate sequence of events. The fast wasn't. Yeah, when Fantoon starts with so prankard was in health bomb range, so any drop he could generate would have supplied him health or energy for refill, but okay, so sorry. This is another important room for Bressingham. This boating room, you really want to have either speed booster or Varia suit to get across this room, because the spikes actually do. It's extreme. It is possible to get across this room by only taking 1 hit from the spikes, but without the suit, the spikes do 60 damage. So, yeah, you kind of have to just get through the room with while taking only 1 hit. That's really difficult. Varia suit doing nice work there. But man, prankard, I really feel bad for him. If Fantoon didn't open with a fast, he had really good chances of just farming the frames for health drops. Fantoon just had to give a fast, and and the spiraling flame. If you don't shoot all of them out on the first moment of eye open, it kind of just gets out of control and inevitably hits Samus. So very unfortunate for prankard. He'll give Fantu another go. This is a required component of this category, this Phantom fight. If you're doing this route, it's kind of inevitable. Meanwhile, Bress does get his gravity suit. There are still so since he's past Phantom, he has gotten past the most volatile part of this category. But of course, there are still tricks that you have to execute, important tricks. Some mandatory ones like the double dive and the green gate glitch, which we all know is usually the final boss anyway. I probably have more runs tied to a green gate glitch than I have to Phantom, honestly. So yeah, Bress still so prankard can still make up major time in the next few minutes due to the next couple of tricks. But getting Phantom on first try for Bress was a big moment. He probably can be happier about his survival. Prankard will try to he's super Phantom, and we'll do the traditional. Okay, he needs to not angle up. If he angles up, it really breaks his spin. I think that's probably one element that kind of killed him in his last attempt at Phantom. Yeah, just timing out this Phantom Enrage. This is a pretty safe approach. He doesn't have any missiles available, so a little hard to catch Phantom's eye opens, but he does finish off with a super. It's a really good job to prankard there. That was probably the best fight, best Phantom fight of the three we saw this race. Bress might opt to. Okay, Bress doesn't. So is he gonna refill his supers? I presume yes. Oh, okay, no. Yeah, so the green gate glitch coming up. If I should explain it a little bit, you kind of have to shoot your supers. Well, there are two methods to do it, but you get at most 2 frames of leeway. And if you miss all this, so think of it as a 2-frame trick. But it's very wonky, it's very janky, and the visual cues are absolutely weird. Ultimately, you want to have 5 supers. Okay, Bress actually got a lucky super drop from one of the enemies in the pre Gravitron room. And there you saw him unequipped gravity suit. Then did a huge hop. That's the trick I was talking about. That's called gravity jump. At that room with lava, that is the room by the way called Gravitron. If you don't have gravity suit, it's so hard to get. Well, it's very tricky to get through that room, and that's the whole reason the runners went up to wreck ship to grab gravity suit, so that they can get through that vast room of upper Norfair before heading down to lower Norfair. Okay, so this is an important trick coming up for Bress. The green gate glitch. Let's see if he gets it. Probably gonna get it first try, and indeed he does. Very nicely done. If you get the green gate glitch first try, the Rippers positions are actually fully determined. So Bress was able to follow up with a cool deboost as well. And here, I'm running it on my commentaries, but you see Bress suddenly fully. You see the Samus on Bress's screen actually fully powered up. This is a consequence of executing the GT code. To execute it, when entering this golden Chorizo room, you hold all 4 face buttons and nothing else. And if you do that through the door transition, well, actually, if you do that on a particular frame during the door transition, Samus just becomes the most powerful being conceivable. And he's gonna pick up Screw Attack, and now this completes all the major upgrades. So Bress currently has every single major upgrade in the game, including Grapple and X-Ray Scope. Although they aren't showing the HUD, trust me, Bress does have them. And in particular, we'll be seeing them used extensively over the course of this run. Just like right here, that was a very cool lag reduction strategy. In Super Metroid, if you use power bombs, okay, so usually if you use power bombs or a plasma beam, the game just generates a ton of lag. But there, Bress was able to use Gravel Beam to kill 2 multi-Violas, and by killing these enemies, he was able to use a bit of a reduction on the lag effect. We'll be seeing this kind of maneuver throughout the course of the run. Since Samus is so powerful, you want to be. There's really no risk of dying from here and on. So the runners will be going for all sorts of micro time saves, like lag reduction, clearing the sound queue, using door transitions, and among many other things. Okay, this is an important moment for. This is also important moment for any completion category. Bress needs to not fail. He needs to not fall down that set of crumble blocks, but he does, unfortunately. This is a this is probably the biggest. Well, maybe not, but this is one of the big time losses you can have in late game. Okay, let's check out this lag reduction strat again. That's so cool. After he doesn't lay the power bomb high enough. Okay, so Bress needs to make this round trip to go grab that missile pack again. Yeah, if he opts to skip that, he'll be getting a 134% at the end, which will invalidate the run. Thankfully, the acid statue drain animation only occurs once, so it's not the worst thing in the world, but it's pretty bad. And prankard heading into Norfair for the second time. He wants to be very careful and not die in any of these rooms. Although I suspect he shouldn't. And he'll be making his way down to Gravitron to perform the FT jump as well. Might come down here. Yeah. So this there's a very conveniently placed farm well down here, and he's using it to farm up on energy as well as most importantly super missiles. So he does have full does have a super missile, 5 super missiles available to him. This is the best chance you can hope for. Meanwhile, Bress traversing the worst room in the game with the aid of Screw Attack. It's actually a rather easy room. Okay, Bress have another chance at making some kind of mistake similar to the one before. Here you have a set of crumble blocks that if you fall through, he shouldn't. Yeah, he does have a spring ball. If you fall through, that's another. Yeah, that's probably like 30, 40 seconds lost. Yeah, Super Metroid actually is a very. It's a little this little insidious game that hides all these traps throughout the run to catch these first time casual players, casual let's players. But sometimes speedrunners gets caught as well. The prankard nails his gravity jump. Very well done. Gets to the save spot. Gets to the save station, and from here on, yeah, you just have to get the green gate glitch. And then the run is in go mode. I neglected to mention a very important lag reduction strat Bress did in the room earlier, so I'll mention it when prankard gets to Kai stairs. Pretty tough trick coming up with Bress. It's called double kegel. Let's see if he gets it. Oh, even goes for a hardcore version. Okay, he goes for a single kegel. The single kegel saves roughly 3 seconds. The second one only saves. The second one is a trickier one, and only saves 1 second. So that was a good trade there. That's the optimal Pirates grouping strategies, and keeps his momentum. Oh, that was unfortunate. Also, he almost got the Ridley spring ball. I didn't see what happened on prankard's screen. May have died to the golden pirate. Considering how fast that reset was, but thankfully he does have the save station. He did save at the save station, so this is not too big of a time loss. It's just the elevator ride, which is roughly 12 to 13 seconds. And meanwhile, Bress is not gonna have any issues with the ready fight since he has just all the ammo you want in the world. Sorry, well, he has all the power-ups you want in the world. Even using some supers on Reggie, because that's actually higher DPS. Now let's focus on prankard's screen. Gets the Green Gate second try. Very nice. That's extremely solid. And prankard needs to be not complacent in this last room here. So the GT code actually, so let's check it out here. He needs to hold all 4 face buttons, but he cannot be holding them for too long if Sam stands while he's still holding them. So, what? Didn't get the. That's actually just as bad. Oh man, that's heartbreaking. He somehow wasn't able to execute the GG code. The GG code while it's just it's entirely trivial to execute because it's just holding 4 face buttons at once. It can fail for unexpected reasons as well. For example, if one of your 4 face buttons is somehow loose, then that's just really not within your control. Like if your item select button is loose, then unfortunately you just have to. The code doesn't get executed, and if you don't execute that code, there's actually no recovery because that code is tied to Golden Chorizo's AI, and if he wants to execute that trick again, he needs to re-enter GT's room. But in order to leave GT's room, you need to kill Golden Chorizo in the first place. But if the Chorizo is dead, the code actually doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so prankard gets the GG 4th try this time, still very solid. At least we aren't seeing any resets here. Gosh, Bress is doing some very cool strategies here, but let's just check out prankard's screen. Those 4 face buttons, and he needs to release them. Nice, he got it this time. He doesn't release the buttons in a prompt manner. The code actually equips Plasma Beam and Spacer Beam together. Now, if you played Super Metroid before, you'll know that these 2 beams are actually incompatible with each other. If you equip them together, it actually becomes a glitch beam, which if you fire to the leftward direction, it immediately crashes the game. That was the very last potential reset point for prankard. There's still potentials of soft lock over the course of the run, but I should say prankard is in go mode now. Yeah, he does pick up screw attack no problem. So now the run will be much easier for prankard. Well, it's easier in terms of survival, but in terms of execution, the run actually just got a lot harder. So since both runners are now in what we call a late game, or I suppose no one calls this the late game, but it should be classified properly. Most naturally as a late game. So this late game will be focusing mostly on movement and the execution of strategies, individual room strategies, more so than actually worrying about survival. And this late game, mind you, is probably the hardest part about this category, because there are just so many things you can do. Since Samus has so much capacity available from all these major upgrades. You have so much freedom to do whatever strats you feel like in the rooms, and in particular, okay, that's a cool deal Bress did, and in particular, you have access to some of the hardest strategies for certain rooms that are absolutely fast. So, the right of this room is the wave beam. The runners actually don't have to go pick up any of the major upgrades during this late game, because as I said, the game only checks whether you have it. GG code already gave both runners all the major upgrades, so there's just no reason to pick up any of say X-ray or Springball or Grapple, which is actually which is really a serendipity, because who wants to get to Springball just to grab an item that you already have? Bress does not get the quintessential trick of this category, named after one of the pioneers and the first runner of this category, Fruitbat Salad. called the FBS Spark. Hopefully we'll be seeing on prankard's end in a few minutes. It is possible to spark back this booster hallway, the shine spark. Coming up is a bubble mountain. Let's see what item order Brest just. Okay, yeah, goes the natural direction. And of course, prankard needs to be careful in this missile, Mickey Mouse missile room as well. He's to not fall down this crumble block. He's being careful. Yeah, Springball does quick work. It's quick work of it. Brisk in this extremely awkward Norfair reserve room. There are some lag reduction strategies you can do here because you'll be firing a plasma shot as you're getting back through this room, and as you can see, that there was a bit of lag on Bress's end. Okay, and I should have mentioned something called a door fix, which is a very cool technique or a point of optimization for Super Metroid, which prankard actually performed in the. Okay, and here prankard actually chose to kill all 3 Kai Hunters or so, I believe. And in this room, you have to lay 2 power bombs, and things that generate the most amount of lag in Super Metroid are enemies moving off screen, and all the Kai Hunters actually move off screen, and they are just. And there are 3 of them, and you have to lay 2 power bombs there. So by killing all 3 Kai Hunters there, prankard was actually able to 3 as much as 3 seconds from that lag reduction alone. So that's really cool. And I should also mention there's something called door fix in this game. When you get to okay, so let's see if Bressingham performs this door fix right here. So this door. As you can see there, he did a springball jump. That's actually really cool. The springball jump actually pushed scroll the screen downwards, so to speak. So here, if you don't fix the door, as you can see on Bress's screen, the door actually has to align itself at the to the center of the screen, and that takes some time. That loses real time. That doesn't matter for in-game time, but loses real time. So in certain spots, the runners will be doing some awkward maneuvers to fix the door to save these transition times. And fixing the door to actually make some entirely trivial rooms absolutely difficult. It's an interesting method of optimization. Bressingham heading down to this to the Crocomire area. If you've seen any GT categories, you'll know that plasma beam is just absolutely broken if you use it on. Oh, Bress doesn't get the optimal shot, but the plasma beam can actually just multi-hit more or less all of the bosses before Golden Chorizo, or before you're supposed to pick up plasma beam. So these include Creative Phantom, Dragon Bottoon, as well as Crocomire. And in the case of Crocomire, it actually just absolutely one-shots him. Because perhaps he doesn't have invulnerability frames associated with him. So it just multi-hits and pushes Crocomire down to the acid in one shot. Now Briss does, so if you've seen any Hundo runs, you might be used to seeing runners go for Spike Suit here. In Max Briss in GT code, the Spike Suit here is actually, it doesn't have much of value. If anything, it just becomes a time loss because you have to do extra very safe movements. So neither runners will be, or I presume neither runners will be going for it. Unless it's for swag points, of course. Next, the room coming up for Prankard, the Wasteland. I absolutely love this return Wasteland. It's such a cool strategy. But let's just see if Prankard, what kind of strategy Prankard chooses to go for. Okay, he goes for a conservative strategy. I should mention that while I said that for max percent, the late game is the hardest segment due to just how many strategies you have the ability to perform. If you decide to play the room safe, this category actually, the late game is actually surprisingly easy because you have all the power-ups you have, right? You have screw attack, space jump. Well, space jump in particular makes so many rooms entirely fast. You also have plasma beam, and you also have spring ball. So if you just want to play the rooms safely by just going through them, late game is actually pretty easy. Or I should say, it's not too demanding. So Prankarder's approach to that wasteland I really admire. So Bress picking up some of the pre-grapple items, but not grapple beam itself. As we said, he actually already has it, although it doesn't show up on the HUD. He does have grapple and X-ray indeed. They will show up again if you save and reload the game. See if he gets this super shot. Does not get, yeah. Oh, he even went for the hardcore super into a gate open shot and into presumably a mock ball through the gate through the door. That would have been really cool, but it's of course a difficult strategy. See, this is what I'm talking about. You have so many strategies that you can go for. So absolutely optimizing this category if you want to optimize it actually perfectly. It's so hard. Neither runners got, or I think neither runners got the Hot Ruby special this time around. It's a little bit unfortunate. Now Bressingham, Bress has finished with his Norfair pickup. Now he's leaving Norfair for the last time. He's definitely not coming back here again unless he somehow forgot an item, which I doubt he has. And heading to crate area. Crate area is a very brief cleanup. You only have two items here, one missile pack and one energy tank. Oh yeah, plasma plus ice doing the unfortunate thing there for Bress. It's actually really easy to just accidentally freeze that one of these beat humps because plasma has an absolutely gigantic hitbox and just gets in the way. Okay, prankard is actually opting to use a power bomb in that room, getting through those pillars, so to speak. Forgetting he has screw attack. That room also has multi violas or bouncing off screen, so that power bomb actually causes a good bit of lag, fortunately. Bress didn't lay the power bomb far enough to the right, so absolutely broke that one tile on the ground. Is this power bomb far enough? No, it's not. Yeah, you kind of want to lay that power bomb when Samus is aligned with the wall. So some very minor mistakes from both runners really. Okay, so let's focus on this quintessential trick that prankard is gonna perform. Suddenly this is sketchy. Oh no! He charged the spark too early and fell down the crumble blocks. That's a bummer. So what you could have done there is to store the shine spark, and after picking up the missile, you can shine spark back to the left. And that's called the FBS spark. Now you might be thinking that, well, that sounds trivial enough. Why do you even give it a name? Well, for the longest time, this is an interesting story. But for the longest time, Frubat said when ever since he first ran this category, he was able to find a consistent method to shine spark or consistent setup to shine spark back the entire room, which is actually a little more. It's actually like not entirely trivial because due to subpixel alignments and all these subtleties, you have a really high chance of bonking the slope tiles if you just mindlessly shine spark back. FBS knew about the setup. He found the setup early on, but most of the other runners never figured out and never bothered to ask FBS for some reason. And I remember in particular there was a 4-way race of Max GT way back when, where all 4 runners went for the Shine Spark and all 4 of us bonked on the slope tiles. So yeah, the Shine Spark is now named after FBS, including a setup. If you include a setup of the FBS Spark. Bress heading up to this beach area. The beach area is a very tough segment in Hondo, because there are some tricky strategies you can perform in the room after this one. And in max percent, there are very cool springball strategies as well. So let's see if Bress goes. Oh, he went for the springball, but does not somehow lost momentum halfway across the room. Got the good RNG as well. The spiky little dude on the ground, depending on where it is, can very easily just knock Samus and makes the trick and a failure. So ideally you want to freeze that the spiky dude and kill it before doing the mock ball into a spin ball jump. Okay, so this return trip is non-trivial as well. There's a cool spin ball trick you can perform. Let's see if Briss goes for it. Oh, almost gets a mock ball. If hanging on the mock ball, it would have naturally led to the spin ball trick I was talking about. Prankard charges a shine spark there. I wonder if he was trying to use that to shine spark up that 15 tiles or something, vertical distance. It's definitely an option. But this is a huge time loss for Prankard. He wanted to do optimally he wanted to do a speedball, which he went for. But speedball, yes, Super Metroid is so picky. It's such a picky game. If to do a speedball, you need to jump then press down. But that gate is closing down very tightly. So you want to do a small hop and then follow immediately by a down press so that you can do the speedball. But unfortunately, Prankard probably pressed down before he could jump. And missing this crumble shaft missile. Yeah, there we go. He did. He recovered. He recovered somehow. Important trick coming up for Bressingham. Gets the up spark. For this category, you do have space jump available, so it's actually the full heavy doesn't even save too much time. I remember for GD Classic, over Fiend, who was a previous world record holder, actually for the longest time just opted to space jump across Colosseum instead of going for a full heavy. So there are some interesting strategy choices runners can have. Prankard did the one shot. Probably Prankard didn't quite get the optimal one shot on Crocmire either. And Bressingham did something called the microwave on Baltoon, which I didn't mention, but he's gonna do it again for Dragon. And the way this works, I'm gonna explain it now, since I have time. Plasma Beam kind of double hits, just penetrates all these enemies. But these enemies, for example, Dragon does have iframes, so it's not going to one-shot him as he did in Croc's case, but by using the X-ray scope to pause time, pause the advancement time. Oh, even Rest gets the hardcore version of the spike suit. That's give or take a double frame perfect trick, very well executed. But yeah, by using X-ray to just run out the iframes on these bosses, while Plasma Beam is still penetrating them, you can just do these 900 damages consecutively. Dragon dies in 6 pauses. I think Balkan dies in just as little as 2 pauses. And the spike suit strategy, the trick Bress did right there was so he could store a shine spark that actually doesn't run out. By doing some frame perfect maneuvers. It's a very difficult strategy. Really cool, he got it. Okay, he got this Yodog D boost into the Zoa boost and optimally into a short charge to get this Brew Bomb strategy. He has 2 shots at it. Oh, okay. I see. So I should mention this. This Meridia routing is actually very interesting. There are 2 methods of going through Meridia after Dragon. One of them involves a green gate glitch, but if you execute it on the first try, save as much as 8 seconds or so, I believe. Another method involves going through the Hondo way, going to the plasma area, but not picking up plasma. Going through the toilet to the plasma area, then heading through Cack Alley, then back from post Baltoon, the room after Baltoon, and head into the sand pit. make a loop. You have to make these loops because Meridia has 2 sand pits that forces Samus to head down to kind of the beginning part of the spring ball section, so to speak. So you need to make 2 round trips, and since Bress opted to pick up that missile pack early, I presume he's going to do a GGG route. So the divergence will be coming up in the next room. So let's see which way he goes. You can either choose to go up or to the left. Yeah, Bress chose to go to the left, so he's doing the optimal route. If you go up and do the bottom to the Hondo, to the Mach Hondo route again, you actually have a second shot at Blue Bomber. Okay, now nice. Bress gets the GG first try. That's a tough GG. That's a tough GG to hit because the gate is like coming at you from out of the screen, right? Unlike the GGG from at pre GT, kind of have to just you kind of have to react the green gate coming on screen, and then doing the at most 2-frame trick, open the gate. So very well executed by Bress. He is definitely saving time with this route choice now that he got the GG first try. Okay, this is an issue for prankard that I actually didn't notice. He needs at least 1 super, so he can farm the CAC, or he can go up this this little farm way. He's choosing to farm the CAC. At this point, it might be. So this is just some subtleties, some small subtleties about this category. Ammo management usually not an issue. Actually, I wonder where he used up so many supers. Maybe he decided to super ready, or use supers as the main mode of firepower on ready, which I can't blame because that indeed is the highest DPS on ready. So this actually ends up costing him some time. This is just unfortunate. Meanwhile, this is important for Bress. He gets the GG first try on the second go as well. This green gate glitch saves 10 seconds as opposed to going down, as opposed to exiting Meridia and then coming to Meridia again through the tube room. So this is incredible. I think he got the Norfair GGG as well, a first try as well. So yeah, 3 for 3 for Bressingham. Has not missed a single GGG this entire run. And yeah, this is a very cool routing here. You want to leave the Main Street missile last, because the next area you're heading up to is top of Red Tower, where you'll be picking up some of these power bombs as well as the missiles after power bomb. So it's really interesting how this routing works. It's actually like one of the earliest. One of my earliest contributions to this category when I first ran it, but nowadays all of the runners have realized it. A prankard, yeah, doing the. Sorry. Yeah, I somehow thought prankard it was foregoing the GG route. He's actually entering Meridia for the first time. So Briss has a full Meridia lead up on prankard right now. Again, this is very sizable. This is a sizable lead, and considering that Bressingham isn't really going for the precarious boating skip strategy, and considering that he didn't soft lock in Meridia, Bress needs to make some serious mistakes consecutively in order for prankard to catch up. Prankard having some issues getting up this energy tank for Mama Turtle. He actually went the optimal way. He went to the right-hand side, and then instead of shine sparking up, as opposed to what Bress did. That is the fastest method known for this room, but Prankard wasn't able to execute it quite cleanly. And this much dreaded mold missile can now be picked up by both runners, as you saw Bress did there. And they are now heading into the muscle memory there, Bress using a super on the already open door. Yeah, so now they're heading to Rex ship, and this room coming up in particular that Bress is heading into, this is one of the rooms that most runners decide to do pre-fan-tune in any handle runs. Actually, that might be the optimal way to do it RTA. So many people aren't used to seeing that room fully live in action. Right. The ground is actually it's actually made of conveyor, and the spikes floors do actually drop down. So it's pretty cool to see. Beach area coming up for prankard. Let's see what kind of strategy he goes for in this room. And doing it conservatively. As I said, if you chooses to do a strategist conservatively, max percent GT code late game is actually not that bad. The prankard is making the good choices, some good strat choices. Now Rex ship has these electricities after it has lighted up, so the runners have options to do a very unique exploit called the grapple boost, which Bress didn't do there. Maybe you'll see it again in attic and the room after, as well as the room after Spiky Room of Death. Let's see how Bress gets through it. Oh, he's using a mock ball. Oh, very cool, very cool. I'm used to seeing that room down with a space jump, but that mock ball or a bounce ball was very well played. Got him pretty far through the room. Oh, prankard doing a little move all there. I've never seen that. I've never seen a move all down there. But yeah, but this is one of the things I love about Super Metroid speedrun is the variety of room strategies and the strat choices the runners have at their disposal. Because this game is so complex, there's no right or wrong in any room. I feel like for every single room, well, except for maybe like the hallway leading up to Meridia Tube, most rooms have at least two, if not more, strategies, available strategies or viable strategies to them. So it's always interesting to see the runners have their what? So prankard doing very interesting. Okay, I'm going to focus on Bress's attic first. So this category is very interesting. Nice, he did use the grapple boost. The grapple boost pushed Samus downward so he could get the dandy sooner, so that he could build more speed. Max GT is a very interesting category because you have to get through attic twice, and in both cases, you have to kill all the enemies because the doors are gray if you don't kill all of them. In the first pass, you have to open the left door. In the second pass, you have to open this right door. Now there are variations that involve killing all the enemies and then opening the right door on the first pass so that you don't have to kill all these enemies on the second pass. But I haven't seen any runners go for it. Now prankards. Okay, I'm gonna wait another moment before I focus on prankard's route choice. Okay, pardon me. So Bress, what not going for another characterizing tricks of this, defining tricks of this category, which is the Sky Missiles spring ball. You can actually get a spring ball jump that retains all the momentum you build up in attic and brings them directly to the Sky Missile spot. Prankard did a very interesting route choice that I've never seen before. He opted to grab the left sandpit items first, before doing all of Upper Meridia, including such as Bogtune, Dragon, and Breach, and all of that. So sorry, he did do Breach, so he didn't. Yeah, so while skipping Bogtune and Dragon. That's very interesting. I can't, on the top of my head, gauge and estimate for how much time this route is saving. Actually, it probably won't be saving too much time, but it's probably just the runner's choice. it probably just comes down to one's preference. But that's a very interesting item order. Yeah, item pickup order that prankard did. Again, it is viable, as you can see. He just has to, yeah, he just has to go about to kill Dragon and pick up the right sandpit items, and then head to Main Street, and then Chinese prankard up. Okay, Brest, and then forgetting that block can actually be you can actually screw attack that block. So right, so a lot of muscle memories from the more I say from other categories really kicking in, because in 100% you will bomb that block, but in max percent you can just screw attack the block. I don't think I don't think he exactly went for full heavy there. Okay, Brest, oh, nice. He caught himself there. He went up to grab the reserve tank, but he kind of rushed himself a little bit, doing a turnaround so that he can do the optimal grab. But then realized he didn't actually grab the item. Almost fell down, cost him like 7-8 seconds. Actually, probably not that much. So he's So Brest is down with boarding items. Let's see if he goes. Okay. Oh, Brest should have held jump there. So some people might know about this speedball down here in the ocean from Hundo run. In Hundo, that's nightmarishly difficult strategy. But in max percent, if you do what Brest did right there, but if you hold speedball jump, you actually just maintain all of your speed by doing consecutive sprint, by doing all these all those springboard jumps there. So yeah, so that strategy actually becomes much easier in max percent if you know what you're doing. So Brest, and well, the next round Brest does, if he's listening to this commentary, he'll know what to do. Brest grabs this and his IPVs. Another key strategy, or another potential strategy coming up for him. Oh, goes for the wraparound shot. Gets it first try, no problem. This wraparound shot is actually comparable in time to another very cool strategy called the Holla Ruby Cannonball. Is what I heard the name is. So there are at least 2 or 3 strategies of heading down over to Gauntlet max percent. It doesn't quite go for the Sex Master Spark, which is actually a bit easier because you have screw attack and don't have to. It's not too picky on your using your Shine Spark to break that crumble block. And yeah, this was the last. This was the last major time loss for Brest, is if he messes up this crumble bonded missiles, the crumble shaft. He does not. So a little bit difficult for prankard to catch up now, but he's still in the race against Metroid entirely. I mean, yeah, just you never know what can happen. Super Metroid. Prankard is picking up these. This is I'm so not used to seeing this. He's picking up these right sandpit items last, and he'll be exiting Meridian now. This is, oh man, this runs so contrary to my common sense, but it's definitely a cool route option. I'm really excited to see what all these runners are bringing to the table. For all these categories this tournament. Recall the 5 extension categories we have in this tourney aren't as well, I shouldn't say optimized, but aren't as well investigated as some of the more seasoned categories on the main leaderboard. So all runners will have their unique approach and solutions to individual groups, and that makes this tourney a great watch. Yeah, as we see prankard leaving Meridia and grabbing this Meridia mainstream missiles, being the conservative strategy, which is cool. And meanwhile, Brest actually got a very tricky mock ball back from the brings our reserves. In this category, we have since we have high jump boost, Sam just gets this from gets propelled upward more fiercely as opposed to say in Hundo. So that speedball is actually quite difficult to get. And I should mention that Brest is on a great pace here. He had two extra saves compared to say his any PB attempts, but he has not had a single reset, and he's basically nailing all the important strategies, such as spike suit, that return mock ball, among other things. Yeah, this spiky room, which you're most used to seeing. We are most used to seeing runners doing D-boost in Hundo across the entirety of the room, but with the aid of SJ and screw attack, entirely trivial. Yeah, space jump might be the single most helpful movement item for the game. Of course, well, spring ball probably comes to a close second. I'm just kidding. Spring ball probably like not as important as a screw attack or plasma for this category, but it's you get spring ball so early in this category, and you have you can use it for the entirety of the category mostly. So that's another cool thing about this category for all spring ball lovers out there. This might be your cat. This might be a category to look out for. Just laid the power bomb in a very particular spot that actually clears the PB blocks here on the left, as well as opening a yellow door over to the right. Just gonna go for. Yeah, okay, he didn't go. Okay, I think he opted not to go for Mission Impossible, considering that he was facing left while going down here. If you want to do Mission Impossible, you really want to be facing right. So that after doing the quick drop, Sam is and nudges her way out against the left wall, which leads to a normalized setup to get in the Mission Impossible. Also, I should mention that prankard went for Ocean Fly, even though it's not any faster in this category, but I'll give him the he's going for all the swag points, so that's great. Oh, actually, lands on one of the platforms and loses his speed. That's a little unfortunate. Oh, and as I say, that Briss also loses his momentum, doing the supposed super speedball. Not the most optimal speedball, but a pretty optimal speedball nonetheless. As you can see here, Screw Attack makes quick work of these side hoppers. In Hundo, you either group them and fire super, or you want to do a Brewster strategy to kill them quickly. But yeah, as I said, many rooms in max percent, while they are hard to execute, to do them completely correctly, they are trivial, or I should say they are not too bad if you just play conservative. Prankard heading to this right super's room. Shoots that work robot and pushes him against the wall. That's unfortunate. You want to shoot the robot to the other direction so that they won't be in your way when you go for the return D boost. But yeah, he'll have to jump over this robot. He still gets the jump. Jumping over that robot without landing on him is actually a little bit precise. You notice Prankard laying the power bomb against the right door. If you lay the power bomb too far to the left, it actually clears this one unbombable block on the ground, and which leaves less room for building running speed on the way back. Brett's using a super on that door. That's interesting. And coming up is a space mock. There we go. Space jump into a cool mock ball into this green hailstone missile. Also, always a neat strategies to observe. And finally, and this is where the run more or less entirely converges with 100%. Oh, nice little grab. Okay, Brett's got a little bit lucky. Okay, actually, I'm not sure if he had a normalized setup for dodging all these hoppers, but it seemed that he wanted to do the to do the plasma hitboxing through the enemies. He had a grapple equipped, but the hoppers played pretty nice. And got the speedball. That's a pretty difficult speedball. Perhaps this seeding item. You notice Briss laid that power bomb against this protruding block from the ceiling. That actually controls the PB range very well. You see that he was able to break just enough blocks so that he could progress to this upward to the mini maze section, but he didn't break any of the excessive walls. So he could use the walls to line himself up, getting a very large jump that has that's actually like pretty. It's actually a pretty big jump because he had he had speed. He had to slow down. Prankard doing a more closer to a handle strategy here, killing the right side enemies first, then heading over to the left enemies, as opposed to Bress's strategy, which involved killing the left enemies first, then heading back to the right, which probably is a little more reasonable considering you have to head to this right door anyway. The handle strategy does is the way it is. It's solely because you have to open the left door. We want Samus to end up on the left-hand side, but for this category, the left door is already open. For the routes, unless you're doing some other routes for this category. Let's see if Prankard is another group spark for Bress there. That was actually a diagonal spark. Optimally, you want your shine spark across this room, but this is the second time now. Once in pre-full happy and once here in the pit room. Prankard is doing the conservative shine spark method to get up to the sky missile. You do have space jump available, so I suppose that's also just runner preference. And Bress needs to get this tricky ice freeze. There we go, no problem. Okay, got the freeze, but didn't get the shine charge. So didn't we're only getting half credit there. Prankard, so neither runner is choosing to do the bowling skip route. Actually, the time save of which still remains unknown to this date, even though the implementation was first observed days as much as 3 years back. This is interesting. But hopefully we'll be seeing the bowling skip route sometime during this tourney, or maybe we have seen it. I don't know. I haven't caught all the streams, every single one of the races this tournament. Bressingham grabbing the 230 missile, which in Honda will be the last item. Opens the door with grapple. That's a nice little optimization. For short distances, grapple beam actually travels faster than any of your beams. Maybe not as, probably comparable to super missiles actually. So it can allow Samus to open up some doors without having to slow down. And here in Max GT, this is our last missile. This is the 135th item. Not the 135th item that we picked up because we got a bunch from GT, but this is the last item Briss will be picking up. And he shouldn't be forgetting any items. At least I have made sure to semi-frequently check his stream. So this is looking like I think Briss's PB was a 122. Maybe it has been updated, or maybe that was just my maybe I'm just recalling empty numbers. But this is looking like a sub 125 pace. This is that's a strong pace for a race. Meanwhile, Prankard just finished with his oh, interesting. Oh, this gives me flashbacks. Right, it is possible to do a space jump that to get all the way down to the entry part of this ocean missiles, which was a strategy that was used a long time ago. So yeah, so props to Prankard for showing us some of these variations. So Bress has into Torian does not unequip does not equip screw attack, so he will be doing either speed boosters. He will be doing speed zap skip or comeback zap skip or any of the other variants. There's a spring ball zap skip. Very clean room 1 there until I had to say something. Right, if you don't have enough speed or if you jump too early, the last Metroid, yeah, usually escapes your shot. Very clean room 2 though. Room 3 is very difficult. He went for the most optimal spring ball strategy. Does not quite get it. Okay, I missed what happened on prankard's side. He seemed like he went for the Hollary cannonball strategy because he didn't do this. He did neither the shine spark nor the wrap around, but he seemed to have lost his momentum somehow. Somewhere in the sky area. Prankard, you can screw that block, so you don't have to pay a PB for it. Very nice. I mean, those lag frames. Important trick coming up for bressingham. Important trick in any category except for maybe low percent, which where it presumably saves just 2 seconds. That was a little close of a second jump. Again, like a 6 or 7 jump. Oh, solid. Absolutely solid. Solid skip. And meanwhile, prankard does not mess up the gauntlet missiles as well. It's up to him. So yeah, this missile, if you mix up, if you route it correctly, I recall it being like a 55-minute time loss. So it's not that significant, but you don't want that to you don't want to have these shades in your runs, right? You want to have a clean looking run. And the breast indeed going for it's really interesting seeing these trends really shifting over the years. It seemed like recently this method of zepscape where you kill the first layer and then do this morph on the second layer has become quite mainstream. I've seen many runners picking it up. Breast executing it no problem. It's actually a very interesting shifting trend. 2 years ago, no one was going for that. or maybe someone in the world was. But don't quote me on that. Breast now in the Mother Brain fight. This is a easy fight for Breast. 20 charge shots. Plenty of health to spare. You can probably take like a triple hit from Ketchup and still be fine. Which he did just take a single hit. No problem for Breast. So let's see if prankard gets this return multiple. This is a tricky strategy. He may have bonked. See? Yeah, seemed like it. Although this is frequently quoted as being a 6 to 7 second time loss in the Handle run. Max GT I presume it's a little bit less, just because you have all the equipment to get through the uppers, like the attic portion of this room. So if I must, more quickly. Now heads down to the critters section. Again, this area is pretty trivial. Even in Handle, the only really tricky room is the spiky room coming up. Or yeah, this room, the bottom section of this room. But for this category, you have space jump and screw attack, so entirely trivial. So I should talk a little bit about the stand-up glitch Breast is doing. The stand-up glitch for Max GT, often thought of as being the easiest of any stand-up glitch you do in Super Metroid. But as you can see here, I'm really glad Breast is doing this. So you have stand-up glitch. You have more than enough time usually to just bring Mother Brain to 0 health, and more time you are actually just waiting on this baby Metroid the finish replenishing Samus's health, because the cutscreen actually doesn't progress to the next cutscene. So right now you see the onion rings don't have any effects anymore, right? There's no explosion effect. That means the baby is already dead, but the cutscene doesn't progress because Samus isn't at full health. So Breast actually made sure to sacrifice some of his early shots during that stand-up so that he could get grabbed by the baby Metroid sooner, so that the Metroid could start replenishing Samus's health earlier, so that he can mitigate a little bit of waiting time. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to get as clean of a stand-up, so this was it probably didn't save him any time. The maneuver probably didn't save him any time. He would have been probably better off just sticking with the traditional stand-up and ensuring an already dead Mother Brain by the start of the third phase. The stand-up glitch, while it's it's easy to get Mother Brain down to 0 health, it's actually very difficult to optimize. Press in the escape section now. You'll for sure be seeing a Blue Bomber, right, Bress? Oh, he does not go for it. That's all right though. This is give or take just a 1 second time save. Yeah, and prankard went for Mission Impossible. Doesn't quite get it. It seemed like his setup was off because if you the spin jump should be automatic, but somehow his Samus did not spin. So I can only assume that maybe just one of the things I talked about earlier, his Samus position or direction was off a little bit. I think Brett got the last. Oh, really clean movement! Moving up that last section of the shaft. It's also always very tricky to entirely optimize that because the screen is shaking. Press in the second to last room of the game. Extremely clean. That was more or less perfect. I'm sure any of the top runners would love that partner. Very clean partner, and GG to Press for finishing up. He actually finished with a time of 1:25.12. A race time of 1:25.12. So great time for Bress. Incredible performance. Huge GG's. Prankard can still decide to. Prankard can still decide to finish up this run. I mean, he's pretty close to finishing up the game anyway. Probably another 3 or 4 minutes to. Another 3 or 4 minutes to get to Turian, and then. Oh, he somehow forgot to pick up this supers. Oh, no! Oh, it's because he fell down from Mission Impossible. So it looks like Prankard has not forfeited, and since their next scheduled match, I think, is doesn't happen until what 4 p.m. It's 4 p.m., which is what 7 p.m. EDT. So yeah, so Prankard still has time to finish up this race if he chooses to. And even in this very last section, there are tons of strategies you can perform. So hopefully Prankard show us some maneuvers, show us some movement. Oh, it seems that Prankard is waiting on Bress's credits to finish so that he can confirm the 135, and afterwards. Yeah, I mean, if this is a 134, then it's more just an automatic win for Prankard. Of course, minus the possibility that he also got somehow less than 135%, but it should not have escaped my eyes. Although for Bress, I'm pretty certain it's a 135, but for Prankard, I'm actually this confident. Okay, Prankard, you need to kill that. You need to kill. Yeah, you need to kill that little hopper. The right door is actually a flashing door. There we go. He'll have to kill the hoppers again on the way back, but with screw attack, it's actually very fast. Now Prankard's item percentage, I'm actually less confident just because of the radical route choice he did, or I should say the very creative and original route choice he did in Meridia. Again, these runners both extremely skilled, very knowledgeable about the game. So, most likely both runners got the 135. Prankard opens the door with the supers. Interestingly, Bress also opened the door with the supers. Maybe that's a new meta that I just don't know of. Interestingly. yeah, prankard is saying in the race chat about some of the things I have in this run. So yeah, prankard could have been this could he could have saved like maybe at least 4 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, if not for the Phantom death as well as GT code fail. But as I said, this run is very volatile. Shame to admit that I did die during my race in this category as well. In particular, I died twice and even lost the race. So really, it's volatile hard category. This and North Korea are probably the two more challenge category of the entire tourney. So the deaths were, while unfortunate, still understandable. And we got the 135 confirmation on Bress's screen. So Bressingham, congrats to Bressingham for taking the taking the win in this first race. It's a very good run. Got most of the important strategies. And of course, GGG first try for all three GGGs. That's impressive. Maybe prankard has officially forfeited from the race, but maybe he will. Maybe he's going to just finish up this run for us because considering that we have plenty of time for the start of the next race, or he might just want to call it here and rest his mind, rest his hands in preparation for next race, next match. But it all remains to be seen. Let's see if he goes for this move all down here, or he can just he can just freeze before the move all. Oh, okay. So I think that's it. That was it. So still GG's to prankard. Unfortunate turn of events. Unfortunate turn of events there, but that just goes to show you that Max GT is no joke. I remember a few weeks ago, all the new runners, all the ambitious runners who are practicing this category, they were complaining about the Phantom fight being a huge threat, and indeed, prankard just showed us here. Probably, unfortunately, had to show us that the Phantom fight indeed can go run very easily. So I actually don't know if the runners will be coming in for an interview. No idea, but let's see. Actually, I'm also waiting on instructions. Well, still, GG's to both runners for putting up a great show. Very cool to see that the early game, the runners actually had identical safety pickups. So, but Bress kind of pulled ahead from some of his execution prowess as well as no deaths to Phantom. And 125 is a very strong time considering it's like say missed full heavy, 2 extra saves, which amounts to like 20-ish seconds, as well as a failed crate quick kill. And not the best Phantom fight as well. So movement overall, execution overall for Bress was impressive. We see a timer reset for Bress. I wonder if the runners are just gonna start running the second race right here, right now, at this time. I'm not sure if SG supports that kind of. I'm not sure if SpeedGaming supports that kind of like partition. It was like a hard, have it done in hard intervals by the hour, but maybe, um, maybe we'll see. So we do know this is a double header. Prankard and Bress will have 2 races back to back. I just don't know whether they will have it right now, the second race right here, or wait another 20-ish minutes. So it looks like a new race room is now open for both runners. Unfortunately, I myself need some break, so probably won't be able to commentate the second match. Actually, let me just double check if there's anyone coming in for this particular race. So MM2 will be doing this commentary for this coming up. So um, that I suppose I will sign off now. So thank you guys for tuning in. Check out these runners, these amazing runners, Bress and Prankard. I definitely didn't know about the two runners, or I've known about their names, but never had any interactions with them. But this tournament is really cool because it brings all the people from different disciplines, so to speak, together, and we are all in this. I'm starting to meet a lot of new people in this tourney in the SM community. So really excited for the remainder of this tourney. Wish both runners a good luck on their second race. Follow the runners, follow their Twitch channel, and make sure to stay tuned for the race coming up.